Picture this. A golden sunrise is slowly breaking over New York Harbor. The morning fog starts rolling off the water, and boom, there she is, the Statue of Liberty. You know her, I know her. She's absolutely one of the most recognizable landmarks on the planet, right? A towering, literal symbol of freedom. I'm your host, Vistam Parker, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're looking through the USA lens to uncover the complete, epic, and totally untold story behind the world's most famous gift. We are going to peel back the layers of history, the wild engineering, and some serious transatlantic drama to show you exactly how this colossal masterpiece actually came to be. So, millions of people look at this monumental statue every single year. But there's a really captivating mystery sitting right there in plain sight. It all comes down to this one question. Who really built Lady Liberty? Because, and here's the truth a lot of us just don't realize, this ultimate symbol of American freedom wasn't actually built by America at all. No way. It wasn't forged in New York or imagined up in Washington. It was a gift. A massive gift that had to cross an entire perilous ocean just to get here. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The vision. A gift across the ocean. To really wrap our heads around this gift, we gotta rewind all the way back to 1776. The rise of American democracy was sending shockwaves across the globe, and it deeply inspired a French historian named Edouard de la Boye. See, France harbored this deep, enduring admiration for American independence. They stood by us during the Revolution, after all. So La Boye proposes this incredibly audacious idea. He pitches a colossal, monumental gift to celebrate freedom, the democratic ideal, and that unbreakable friendship between our two nations. It was a stunning vision, but actually making it a reality, well, that was going to take a genius. Which brings us to Section 2, an engineering marvel, building the impossible. Now, what's really interesting about this is how they pulled it off. To turn this towering vision into reality, visionary French designer Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi designed this magnificent exterior. He used delicate, meticulously hand-hammered copper sheets, all crafted right there in Parisian workshops. But here's the catch. Copper alone absolutely cannot hold itself up against the whipping winds of New York Harbor. So enter Gustave Eiffel. Yep, the same guy who would later build that famous tower. Years before that, Eiffel designed a revolutionary, massive iron skeleton for the statue's interior. It was a brilliant framework capable of supporting all that enormous weight, while still allowing the copper shell to literally flex in the wind. Just a flawless marriage of art and cutting-edge engineering. Moving right along, Section 3. Crossing the Atlantic, an epic journey. Okay, so you've built this colossal metal titan in the heart of Paris. The big question is, how on earth do you get it to America? You obviously can't just put her on a boat. First, the completely finished statue had to be painstakingly disassembled. All those pieces were carefully packed into enormous wooden crates, loaded onto a massive cargo vessel, and shipped across a violent, stormy Atlantic Ocean. Think about the stakes here. One bad storm and the greatest gift in history would have been lost to the deep forever. But she made it. She finally arrived in New York Harbor, ready to face a seriously complex, towering reassembly process. I want you to just take a second and let this number sink in. 300. To survive that agonizing ocean crossing, the massive monument had to be broken down into over 300 individual pieces. I mean, imagine the sheer scale of the organization required for that. Over 300 separate crates, holding a disassembled giant, navigating the turbulent waters of the Atlantic, all waiting to be perfectly pieced back together on the other side of the world. It's literally like the most important puzzle in history. Let's map out the historical scale of this incredible project. It all stems from 1776, right, with the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Fast forward nearly 90 years to 1865, and that's when Le Bouillier first proposes the monument. And finally, after decades, literally decades, of design, construction, cross-ocean shipping, and this massive public fundraising campaign in America just to build the pedestal she stands on, we reach 1886, October 28th, 1886 to be exact, the grand dedication in New York Harbor. President Grover Cleveland led the official unveiling, and there were explosive fireworks, cheering crowds, American and French flags waving everywhere. The vision was finally complete. All right, Section 4, Secrets of Lady Liberty. Hidden details you never noticed. You see, Bartholdi didn't just build a statue. He basically built a towering code. Every single part of her has a hidden purpose. The 7 crown spikes radiating from her head, the broken chains of oppression lying shattered at her feet, that majestic torch held high. And this brilliantly illustrates that these aren't just artistic choices. No, they are deeply intentional symbols embedded right into her copper skin. They represent the breaking of tyranny and the radiant light of freedom spreading across the 7 continents. And if we zoom in even closer, cradled in her left arm is a tablet bearing a very specific inscription, July 4th, 1776, written out in Roman numerals. This brilliant detail permanently, and I mean permanently, links this French gift directly back to the very foundation of America's independence. It's like a historical stamp held right close to her heart. Now, here's another incredible secret that catches so many people off guard. We all know Lady Liberty for her iconic deep green color, right? But that green isn't paint. When she was first unveiled, she was actually the color of a shiny new penny. Over many years, the harsh, salty harbor air caused the copper to undergo a chemical reaction called oxidation. So that brilliant copper slowly transformed, naturally protecting itself and creating that gorgeous signature green patina we all recognize today. Crazy, right? Which leads us into Section 5, a symbol of hope, the Ellis Island era. As the decades passed, the meaning of the statue really evolved. She was originally built to celebrate a military alliance, but soon her harbor filled with steamships carrying millions of immigrants, families traveling from all across the globe, literally leaving everything behind for a chance at a new beginning. Just imagine standing on a crowded deck after a brutal ocean journey. For millions seeking a new life, her colossal figure rising from the fog wasn't just some monument. It was their very first sight of America. A silent, towering guardian, welcoming them to a land of opportunity. Today, she firmly stands as one of history's absolute greatest triumphs. Supported by that brilliant iron spine, her extreme height and massive copper thickness remain a total engineering marvel. She's recognized globally as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and her iconic torch continues to light up the night skyline. I mean, it draws millions of visitors every single year who cross the harbor just to stand at her feet and look up at a true cultural masterpiece. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to remember this core takeaway. The Statue of Liberty is far, far more than just a monument. It's a masterpiece of engineering, for sure. It's a symbol born from international friendship. But most importantly, it's an enduring, modern reminder that freedom is a precious gift. A gift that was fought for in 1776, celebrated by France in 1886, and one that remains entirely worth protecting today. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to reflect on. As long as she stands there in the harbor, watching the modern world turn, she's sort of asking us a silent question. Will we continue to protect the incredible gift of freedom she represents? It's a question every single generation has to answer for themselves. Want to discover more untold stories behind America's greatest landmarks? Subscribe to America Uncovered. I'm your host, Viston Parker, and this has been the USA Lens.